It's easier to jump out of a plane, hopefully with a parachute, than it is to change your mind about an opinion. Levitt and Dubner. In this video, I present some of my highlights from Stephen Levitt and Stephen Dubner's book, Think Like a Freak. These authors not only discuss practical ways of upgrading how you think, but they also get into unconventional tactics to persuade others. Like a double-edged sword, these strategies can be used for the good or for the bad. I'm gonna assume you're in it for the former. A growing body of research suggests that even the smartest people tend to seek out evidence that confirms what they already think, rather than new information that would give them a more robust view of reality. End of quote. This is one of the greatest barriers of critical thinking. A lot of people talk about it. You hear about the confirmation bias from scientists, diet gurus, researchers. It is very tricky though, because awareness of it doesn't inherently protect you from this bias. It amuses me how so very often I tend to fall prey to it. Another barrier to thinking like a freak is that most people are too busy to rethink the way they think, or to even spend much time thinking at all. When was the last time you sat for an hour of pure, unadulterated thinking? If you're like most people, it's been a while. End of quote. This is known as metacognition, or thinking about thinking. I know it sounds boring, but if you want to stop being at the mercy of your senses, urges, people, and the environment around you, if you want to reclaim some stake into your own thinking, I'd suggest to look that up and practice metacognition. Approach and experience the world with curiosity instead of assuming that you know. The impulse to investigate can only be set free if you stop pretending to know answers that you don't, because the incentives to pretend are so strong. This may require some bravery on your part. End of quote. To be a better thinker, you have to be able to say, I don't know, and then do the best you can to find out what you don't know. Thinking like a freak also means thinking small rather than big. Why, you may ask? Well, big problems have been thought of endlessly by very smart people. Isaac Newton couldn't have said it better. To explain all nature is too difficult a task for any one man or even for any one age. 'Tis much better to do a little with certainty and leave the rest for others that come after than to explain all things by conjecture without making sure of anything. End of quote. So, why you should think small? First, small questions receive less attention than bigger ones. They are opportunities. Second, big problems are composed of a multitude of smaller ones. So you can approach a bigger problem, if this is what you're really in for, by dealing with the smaller problems comprising it. Number 3, since change is hard and bigger problems may imply a bigger change, you get a better shot at change by dealing with smaller problems. Number 4, smaller problems may be solved quicker, making the reward more immediate. Now, what about that persuasion game? 1. If you go for the unpersuadable, know that his or her argument is likely based more on ideology and herd mentality than on logic and critical thinking. Number 2. Don't make your arguments perfect. Allow for some flaws. Show us a perfect solution and we'll show you our pet unicorn. If you make an argument that promises all the benefits and no costs, your opponent will never buy it, nor should he. End of quote. Number 3, tell stories. This is one of the most important weapons in your persuasion arsenal. Why are stories so valuable? One reason is that a story exerts a power beyond the obvious. The whole is so much greater than the sum of the parts, the facts, the events, the context. that a story creates a deep resonance. End of quote. To make a good story, portray the bigger picture. Emphasize on the passage of time. Show how things change or remain constant. Stories also appear to the narcissist in all of us. As a story unspools with its cast of characters moving through time and making decisions, we inevitably put ourselves into their shoes. Yes, I would have done that too. Or, no, 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 I never would have made that decision. End of quote. We are evolutionarily wired for storytelling. Make sure you know that. I'll end by letting the authors tell you more about letting go, which is a key principle at the core of thinking like a freak. Letting go of the conventional wisdoms that torment us. Letting go of the habits of mind that tell us to kick into the corner of the goal, even though we stand a better chance by going up the middle. Letting go of the artificial limits that hold us back, and of the fear of admitting what we don't know. Thank you for watching.